One more time, this dude is falling asleep. This dude is literally falling asleep in this meeting. All right, breaking news. Trump appointed multiple MAGA loyalists to oversee the Library of Congress, yet they were just turned away by the Library of Congress staff as they are still mad that Trump has been firing people for no reason whatsoever. At the same time, Trump fell asleep at a Saudi summit while this was all happening. And can I just back up for a second and say, if President Biden had the week that Trump has had, or the past 48 hours that Trump had, Republicans would be trying to impeach him over and over and over. Let's just back up. 48 hours ago, Trump announced that he was accepting a gift from Qatar. By gift, I mean a $400 million bribe. Trump, off the back of that, traveled to Saudi Arabia to mingle with Middle Eastern leaders, which is fine. The American president can talk to other world leaders. That's not the problem. The problem is the clear quid pro quo that is happening during these meetings. For example, my grandpa is from Syria. My dad is Syrian, therefore I'm Syrian. Yet it's not okay that the new Syrian leader, who I like, promised Trump a Trump hotel in Syria, and then Trump within the hour lifted the sanctions. That is a type of quid pro quo that doesn't benefit the American people. It's for Trump's own personal gain. After that, Trump fell asleep at a summit. All this is to say that imagine if Biden had openly been this corrupt. Now, let's just start here. Actually, before we talk about Trump sleeping, let's talk about what went on early in the morning. Library of Congress staff turned away new MAGA bosses. 2 Justice Department officials were denied access to the Library of Congress, causing a brief standoff at Capitol Hill. The 2 officials, Paul Perkins, an Associate Deputy Attorney General, and Brian Nieves, a Deputy Chief of Staff and Senior Policy Counsel, were seeking access to the U.S. Copyright Office but were denied entry at around 9 a.m., sources who spoke on the condition of anonymity told the New York Times. Anonymity. I don't know why I slurred that so hard. The pair had brought a letter from the White House declaring that they were going to be serving in 2 top positions at the library under Todd Blanche's leadership and recommendation. Blanche, who was also Trump's lawyer during a lot of his trials and is now the Deputy Attorney General, was named Acting Librarian of Congress by Donald Trump. None of this makes sense. Trump is taking his favorite lawyers and Fox News hosts and allies and putting them in the most random positions ever. The pair had brought a letter, but were still denied. The letter reportedly declared that Perkins would be acting as a Register of Copyrights and the Director of the Copyright Office. Can I just say, Trump's own Library of Congress staff is beginning to revolt against the new MAGA bosses, and I think that's a good sign. I talked a lot as Trump was taking office about how the people that will hold the lines over the next few years will mainly just be individuals. When a lot of the institutions are failing en masse, when loyalists are being appointed, when courts are moving slowly, individuals, we need to hold the line. I think a really good example of this is Powell. Right now, Jerome Powell keeps going on stage and just reiterating, I will not bend to Trump. I will not bend the knee to Trump. I will not do what Trump tells me to do. I respect this because this is an example of an individual holding the line. Now, you cannot like Jerome Powell. A lot of people dislike Jerome Powell for one reason or another. I think he's doing a good job keeping a steady hand despite all of the pressure. All of that is to say, when individuals are holding the line during moments like this, saying, hey, you guys are not the new heads of the Library of Congress or not the new director of the Copyright Office, that is powerful. Now remember, library staff members called U.S. Capitol Police. However, the 2 department officials left willingly. The president launched an overhaul of the library last week after dismissing former Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden and saying that she was like woke or whatever the hell. He's been firing people at the library a lot for ideological purposes. He then proceeded to fire the director of the Copyright Office, Shira Perlmutter, over the weekend, according to several reports. Now, after Trump did this weekend purge, he does the most blatantly corrupt act ever, and he's just flooding the zone throughout all of this. If you're wondering why I'm bouncing around between a few different stories, I'd like to actually make the argument that they are connected because Trump wanted all of this to happen at the same time so that his insane corruption with Qatar is then covered up by his trip to Saudi Arabia, which all works to cover up the fact that he is openly and blatantly firing people for purely ideological reasons. I think we're slowly going to start seeing more infighting within the Trump admin and more of a collapse because Trump's entire persona is built on like strength or power or dominance or whatever the hell. I'm not saying he is strong. I'm saying that's how he tries to build his brand. So that brings us to this story. Sleepy Trump caught on camera nodding off at a summit in Saudi. And Fox News was playing this, mind you, on their show. By the way, make sure you drop a like. Make sure you subscribe. We're trying to beat some of the bigger media organizations in month-over-month growth, and all you have to do to help us is scroll down and hit subscribe. Let's watch this clip of Trump nodding off.
Of Donald Trump over the next 3.5 years. I asked that with trepidation, only because you read a lot of the material now out of Saudi Arabia, and Mohammed bin Salman is saying we need a resolution on a Palestinian state. And I don't necessarily recall several years ago, pre-October 7th, as that being a demand that he had necessarily stated publicly. Do you think his position has changed, or do you think the way he has expressed himself, has that changed?
It's the latter, Bill. I think MBS very much wants to be in partnership with Israel.
One more time, this dude is falling asleep. This dude is literally falling asleep in this meeting. The excitement of Donald Trump's trip to Saudi Arabia apparently didn't last long for the 78-year-old president. In fact, the special welcome ceremony appeared to be a snoozer. He landed for a 4-day diplomatic trip. Oh, we have to go through this for 4 days. He had a special ceremony held in his honor. They had a rolling McDonald's vehicle. Did you guys see the rolling McDonald's vehicle? Let me show you this on Twitter. I hope nothing crazy pops up, but I'm just gonna look up McDonald's, and I promise you, today, the Saudis brought in a mobile McDonald's to greet Donald Trump. Totally normal. Again, could you imagine if this had happened for Biden? If Biden had fallen asleep after stuffing himself full of McDonald's, after making multiple quid pro quo deals with Middle Eastern leaders, with the leaders of Qatar, the leaders of all of these different countries, never would Republicans ever let it go. And I don't think we should either. I think with this Qatar plane, we hammer it home over and over and over, because while this is happening, Trump is trying to distract from it. Trump is making authoritarian moves by attacking the media, attacking the law firms, attacking the Library of Congress. Did I finish this? Staff seem to be waiting for direction from Congress, with Newland additionally sending an email to employees saying he did not recognize Todd Blanche's appointment as valid. Okay, this is a massive civil war. This deserves its whole entire video. Now, staff at the library are essentially saying that Todd Blanche, Trump's top lawyer and the Deputy Attorney General, is not actually legally appointed. The terminations that Trump has caused have sparked outcry among House Democrats, including Representative Joe Morell, who described Trump's termination of Perlmutter in particular as a, quote, brazen, unprecedented power grab with no legal basis. Perlmutter was laid off from the Copyright Office after publishing a report on the connections between AI and between fair use. Blanche, meanwhile, was Trump's lead defense lawyer during his Manhattan criminal trial, and he's trying to take the role of somebody who was just writing an article. This is the definition of not being able to express yourself freely. Can I just one more time read the sentence? Perlmutter was laid off from the Copyright Office after publishing a report on the contentions between artificial intelligence and fair use. Somebody is doing an actual, good faith, deep analysis as a part of their job, and Trump doesn't like that analysis, so his move is to fire them. I mean, his move is to, this wasn't even someone talking shit about Trump, which would, if Trump fired somebody for talking shit, that wouldn't be okay either. But this was somebody just doing a study that Trump did not like, or publishing a report, rather, that Trump did not like, and he fires them, which is absolutely insane. This is Carla Hayden, who was also ousted from the top post on Thursday. And I'm going to leave it at that. Trump's been levying a bunch of attacks across multiple fronts. We will relentlessly cover it. If you enjoy and appreciate what I do, drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video, and peace out.